Some of the goodies that I wanted to talk about were the NirSoft commands, or I should say the NirSoft programs. NirCmd is one of the programs. What this essentially is a small, low-impact program that will be able to send other commands to other files or even to the Windows operating system. You can see here, for example, I can even have it do such random things as open the CD drive. I can have this then keyed to an auto hotkey script, or in my case, I can use it to control the volume on the rain meter skins. You can see the master volume here. Right now it's muted, so I'll just unmute that. So now you can see if I click on the one of these, it will be able to change the wave volume without me having to do so in the master volume or using the Windows up and down keys. The way that you would install this, when you download it, you can see that the program simply is an extraction, or it's simply archived together. It does not have an installer. So if you were to extract it to the folder, you would see just 3 files, the 2 executables and the help file. If you were to take these and put them in the rain meter program files, I'm right now in program files under rain meter, if you were to put both of those in a folder named NirCmd within the rain meter folder, it would be able to recognize that you can send commands through NirCmd, and thus using a rain meter skin you can be able to do other things like that, being able to control the volume and pretty much anything else you can see on their page here, muting and so forth. You can be able to turn the monitor on and off, be able to change or toggle the screen brightness, be able to set a custom screensaver that you would be able to change the duration of how long it starts. In my case, if I press the Windows and D key, it will go to the default screensaver of whatever I have selected. The other program that I wanted to demonstrate that was also by NirSoft, and you can see their URL up here. The other thing that I wanted to demonstrate is a program called IconsExtract. This one is useful for doing exactly what it says. You can be able to open this program and use it to open other programs and find out all the different icons that you can have on your computer. And this one installs just as easily as the other does. If you were to download the installer and choose to extract here or to a file of its own name, you would get the executable, a readme, and the help file that goes along with it. In my case, I gave it a folder of its own and put it in the program folders menu. When I choose to run it, now for instance you can see I have last used it on the C program files movie maker, NirCmd.executable. If I tell it to search for icons, it will search that particular executable for any icon type files, and since it found the one, I can choose to save it to a given destination, in this case the staging area by default. For now I'm going to cancel though because I want to demonstrate that I can browse pretty much anywhere. So for now I'm going to tell it to browse the Windows folder. So I go to Windows and tell it to browse the System32 folder. Now down here I can type in a specific file name. In this case I'm looking for shell32.dll. This is what the Windows operating system will use to be able to make all the different icons, or a great deal of the different icons that your computer uses to run. So now it's been scanning for long enough, I'll just choose to stop it. And it found 476 different icons out of that one particular file. So now if I want to, I can scroll down to any one of these and say this one looks like a good one for being used for a folder that I have in mind, so I can choose to save the selected icon, and I'll save it to the staging area again. So now I'll minimize this. So now if I go to the staging area, we can see the 16 by 16 pixel icon that resembles that, and if I wanted to, I can open it in MS Paint. It's very, very tiny. There's other programs that will be able to edit video, or I should say still image files, so I'll demonstrate later. For now though, I'm just going to cut this one and paste it to the folders of all of the other files that I've been using for demonstrations. So now I wanted to point out how you can customize the appearance of a folder. For now though, I can choose the files one, go down to its properties, and go to customize. And if I wanted to, I could pick the change icon. If I wanted to, I could be able to choose a picture that would demonstrate or be a emblem for that file. For now though, I'm just going to go to the choose or change icon command. If I wanted to, I could have it go through the shell32.dll by itself, although this would be a little bit of a hassle trying to scroll through all of these. And so in this case I can just go to Browse, and we can see that there is the file there. I can choose to open it. Click OK, click either Apply and then Close, or just OK. So now the files will now resemble that one. I can choose to ignore this one from now on, but if I delete it, it will disappear. The same thing could be true for these. If I wanted to, I could do the Videos folder. If I wanted to, I could enter the address for it that way. Click OK. And since there may or may not be a single icon in that particular icon folder, I can choose to have several of them here. I'm just going to click OK, click Apply, and then click OK again. So now the folder for videos will resemble that. And it will do so every time I come here, unless I move this or delete it or anything else. Otherwise this will keep the same look as it has now. So now it will resemble that each time I open this folder, unless I remove that pictures.ico. However, I can choose to go to its properties and tell it to become hidden. The same thing would be true for this one. If I right click somewhere and click refresh, the icon files are gone, but the folders themselves are not. And so this is one of the great uses of IconsExtract, that you can be able to save whatever icons you like to be able to use in whatever program you like later, or on whatever folder you like later. And this way you won't have to hunt down through the shell.32 or shell32.dll. If you wanted to though, for instance in this case I'm going to go to the properties for sound clips. You don't always have to choose from the shell DLL. In this case I'm going to go to the System32 folder that is in Windows, and in this case I can scroll to the sound recorder, or the sound volume 32. In this case I can choose sound record 32, and since it's an executable, it will scan it for whatever types of files it wants. And so if I want, I can pick this one, or this one, or this one. In this case I'll just pick the top one, choose OK, choose Apply, and then close this, and it will now have the same appearance. I didn't have to extract the ICO, but it now knows that the icon to use for this folder is in the System32 folder, which will never be moved, and if it is moved you have other problems on your hand. Although this will be able to retain its look on this machine. If I were to cut and paste this to a flash drive and then move it to someone else's machine, it would, it may or may not keep the same appearance. If you go into the file itself and choose to hide or show the hidden files, you can see there is a new one called the Desktop INI. This is what the Windows operating system will use to be able to go and choose the icon for that file. In this case, I told it to go to the icon file, in this case the system root, which would be C Windows, and from there to go to System32 and to pick the sound record 32.executable. And if there are a number of icons, it will choose 0 as the first one there, and it will use that particular icon to display the sound clips folder icon here. For now though, I can just minimize all of this, and we'll move on to the other demonstrations.